Welcome to the Year 6 strategy for division. In this lesson I'm learning to solve division questions using the strategy division in parts. Let's start with this question here. I've got 54 counters which I want to share between three groups. So the aim of this lesson is, rather than trying to share out this whole 54 in one go, we're going to share it out in a couple of steps. So we could call this one step 1 and this one step 2. Now the first amount that I share out needs to be a tidy number, but it needs to be a big tidy number that I know can be shared into three groups. So the easiest way to get that is just to think, what's the biggest number on my 3 times tables, or biggest tidy number on my 3 times tables? So that is going to be 30. Now if I share out 30 in my first go, but I need to share out 54, that means I will need to share out another 24 on my next turn. So let's start by sharing out these 30. Well, I have to share these 30 counters between three groups. So if I do that, I'll need to put 10 counters in each group. Now I've still got 24 more counters that I need to share out, and I need to share them between the three groups as well. So 24 counters shared between three groups means I'll need to put another 8 counters in each group. So I put 10 counters in each group, then I put another 8 in, so in total I've put in 18 counters. So 54 divided by 3 is 18. Let's try another question. This time I've got 84 counters and I want to share them between 7 groups. Now, just like last time, I want to do that in 2 goes rather than sharing them all out at once. Now I want this number here to be a big tidy number, but a tidy number that can be shared between 7 groups. And again, the easiest way to find that is just to times that number by 10. 7 times 10 is 70, so that's going to be the first amount I share out. 70 counters. Now I need to share out 84, so if I've shared out 70, I'll need to share out another 14. So let's start with the 70 counters. I need to share those 70 counters between 7 groups, so I'm going to need to put 10 counters in every group. Now let's move on to the pile of 14. I need to share these 14 counters also between the 7 groups. So 14 counters shared between 7 groups means I'll need to put another 2 counters in every group. So first of all I put 10 counters in each group, then another 2 counters, so in total I've put 12 counters in each group. So 84 divided by 7 is 12. Let's try one last question. This time I've got 72 counters and I want to share these between 4 groups. Just like last time, I want to do this in 2 steps. And for my first step, I'm thinking of a big tidy number that needs to be on my 4 times tables. So the easiest way to do that is times it by 10. 4 times 10 is 40. So that's the first amount I'm going to share out. Now if I need to share out 72 and I've already shared out 40, that means I have another 32 counters to share out. So let's start by sharing out this pile of 40 counters. I need to share these 40 counters between 4 groups, so 40 counters shared between 4 is 10. Now I still need to share out these 32 counters between the 4 groups, so 32 counters shared between 4 is 8. So I gave every group 10, then I gave every group another 8, so in total I've given every group 18 counters. So 72 divided by 4 is 18. Let's think about the important things to remember in this lesson. Well, you can see that what I'm doing, sharing out the whole amount, but instead of doing it in 1 turn, I'm doing it in 2 turns. And I'm always starting by sharing out a tidy number. But this tidy number has to be an amount that I can share between the number of groups that I've got. That's why I chose 30, when I had 3 groups, I chose 70 when I had 7 groups, and I chose 40 when I had 4 groups. And then for our second step, we're just sharing what's left over. And finally, we add these two amounts up, and that gives us the total amount that we put into each group. You can find the activity sheet that goes with this lesson in the Teacher Tools Multiplication and Division book from the Whitebook collection.